starts feeling like you're opening a channel to God. It's pretty crazy. I mean, that's one of the motivations for naming it something kind of grandiose like the glitch in the first place, is because it's like totally a game changer. Perfect. Relax my throat and take it. So, what do I want to yap about? Good question. Shout out whoever said that. So the first thing I want to talk about is a concept that my friend Michael named called the glitch, which is really good if you are somebody who thinks in like a inner dialogue, inner monologue. So if you think in words most of the time, the glitch can be extremely magical and useful. I wish my phone wouldn't fucking... basically how the glitch works is like you sit down and you just tell yourself not to breathe unless you have a thought. And it's really interesting how it happens, because like basically the first thing that happens is, for me, is my brain will have like thoughts that are like trying to trick me into thinking they're not thoughts. So it'll be like, are you thinking right now? Or like, okay, watch out for a thought. They could come up at any second. Okay, I'm gonna open the show on my laptop. If you're somebody who is thinking in like words all the time, most of your thoughts are just like habitual. So there's a saying that says like 90% of the things you think every day are the same thoughts you had the day before. And ultimately, that is a huge part of like, if the life that you don't want is repeating itself and sustaining itself, a big part of it might be because you were having the same thoughts every day. Your thoughts at the very least influence your actions, but even more than that, your thoughts guide your focus. And your focus determines the amount of opportunities that you can pick up on. And if you want to get really esoteric and schizo about it, your focus also guides the energy that creates reality itself. But you don't even need to think about it that way to see the utility in this strategy. Because it works no matter how you view it. So yeah, essentially you can sit down. It's easy to do as a meditation if you're not doing anything else, but once you get pretty good at it, you can do it in tandem with other basic activities, and it can be really fun no matter how you do it. But so yeah, your brain will most likely start out by coming up with things that are like deceptive, like, alright, well, wait for a thought to come up, and then you don't even realize that that itself is a thought. And then you go, oh fuck, I had a thought, and then you breathe. And so the purpose of the breathing and the holding of the breath is essentially, you can think of it like your thoughts are coming from like a demon that's in your brain. And this demon needs your physical body to be alive in order for it to be alive. If you die, it dies. If you pass out, it stops having influence. So the first thing that you lose if you hold your breath is consciousness. And so you can kind of refer to this demon as your conscious mind, which is the part of your brain that comes up with all your thoughts. But like I said, mostly they're thoughts that you had the day before. So that's the demon you're trying to defeat with this process. And the way you do it is you basically hold it hostage. You say, if you don't show yourself to me, then I will either pass out or die, because I'm going to hold my breath, and eventually it has no choice. And the reason this is sort of the exchange that's going on is because most of what you'll find is that most of the things that you think you're not even taking account of, let alone taking accountability for, let alone doing on purpose, it immediately reveals to you that most of your thoughts are coming up automatically, and that automatic function is coming up because it is habitual. These are thoughts you've been having for years and years and years and years, and they're directly contributing to the habits in your life, which is ultimately causing the way that your life is. Let me turn my light up. Yeah, that's the end goal, is to retake command of your thinking by holding the bad habit demon hostage with your breath. And it compounds upon itself when you do have a thought and then you do breathe, because if you do enough of this, it's basically I don't know, I forget the psychologist's name, but the like really basic like classical conditioning concept of ring the bell when you feed the dog and it salivates whenever you ring the bell. It's classically conditioned to expect food. It's the same thing with your brain. If you decide that every thought you have is a command to your diaphragm or your lungs to breathe in, then it turns every thought into that definition. Which means no matter what thought you're having, no matter how negative or whatever, the definition over time slowly becomes just to breathe. There are some ancient ideas that the original name for God, Yahweh, and this could be total bullshit, but it's a good analogy, is just the sound of breathing. And so that's a good way to look at it, is the breath. There's almost never a time where taking a deep breath, taking a relaxed, comfortable breath, doesn't feel good. So effectively, no matter what thoughts you're having every day, if you do this practice, you are over time turning all of your thoughts into a command for your body to automatically do something that feels good. And I don't know if I've gotten to this point yet, but ultimately the theoretical goal is that if you do this enough, all of your thoughts turn into just breathe, or you'll stop having so many thoughts that are in word form, which means you'll stop having so many of your habitual thoughts that are holding you back. So that's why it's called the glitch. It's effectively a glitch in the matrix, and I mean that literally, because this reality is made up of code, and that code is the words in your head, or the shapes in your head. No matter how you think, you're thinking in some sort of form. Words are the easiest example to understand. But the forms that take place in your head is the code of your reality, in the same way that Python would be the code of a website. So that's why it's a glitch. It's a glitch in the matrix that you're living in, because it turns all of the code into one command, and that one command is to breathe, which almost always feels good. And to get a little bit esoteric and schizo, feeling good means you are on the same wavelength as all of the things you want. I mean, that's not even schizo. That's just true. Everything you want is on the wavelength of feeling good. There is nothing that you have ever wanted that didn't come with the idea that you will feel good in the having of it. So, if all of your thoughts translate to something that feels good, it translates to a command that tells your body to do something that feels good, then you are putting yourself directly on the wavelength of everything that you want. And what happens when you do that is your brain now is in the electrons in your brain are now in the same part of your brain that all of your desires are. You start having ideas about all of the things you want to do, all of the things you want to have, and they all feel good because you feel good. I think we live in an attraction-based universe, but at the very least, you have an attraction-based mental. Your brain will always think of more of things that it's thinking about. If you're depressed, you will think about depressing things. If you feel good, you will think about things that feel good. There is no losing in a scenario where you are tricking your brain into feeling good, especially when you have nothing else occupying your motor. That's a weird way of saying, especially if you're not doing anything that requires a specific kind of thinking. It is ultimately a productive thing to do, even if you don't believe in any of the law of attraction manifestation shit. It still works. So that's the glitch. It is effective in so many ways. What happened to me when I started using it is I started unlocking memories from childhood that I didn't even know, like, I could remember, just like random, really vivid, specific things, or unlocking like desires I used to have, or unlocking like a vivid image of a desire I still have, and just like it starts feeling like you're opening a channel to God. It's pretty crazy. I mean, that's one of the motivations for naming it something kind of grandiose like the glitch in the first place, is because it's like totally a game changer.